Good morning, everybody. Chris Hislop from the Montana World Affairs Council, and welcome to another episode of What, So What, Now What, the international affairs program that connects you with a global expert on the issue of the day, and in just 5 minutes, you become the expert. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome two guests. Our first guest is Andrea Carneiro, who's a Brazilian biologist who was involved for many years in coastal and marine studies in Brazil and abroad. Since 2012, she's been living in Colombia and recently joined the Rainforest Trust as a Latin American conservation strategist in this quest to help protect her beloved, diverse, and fragile Latin American ecosystems. We're also joined by Whitney Petrilli, who brings a lifetime of working with organizations to raise money with a focus on healthcare, the environment, and education. She's worked in and with the development departments of multiple international organizations such as Defenders of Wildlife, People for the American Way, and Amnesty International, to name just a few. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate the opportunity to share with you what we do at Rainforest Trust.
Well, we're extremely pleased to have you. And I wonder if maybe we could start there. Could you let our viewers know a little bit about the Rainforest Trust and what you do?
Absolutely. Yeah. We've been around for over 30 years. We're an organization, a nonprofit that creates protected areas all around the world, in Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Basically, we create these protected areas by a couple of different methods. We do land purchases, we do designations, which is basically creating a reserve or a new park, or land titling, which basically gives indigenous people rights to their own land so that they can't be exploited. So far, we have protected over 37 million acres of land throughout the world, and we're just getting started. We have a lot more. We have a lot of ambitious goals ahead.
Thanks a lot for that, Whitney. Now, here in Montana, people across the state have a big stake in the environment, clean air, clean water, clean land, and in indigenous rights. So I wonder if you could talk a little bit about why your work matters to us and what impact it has.
Oh, Andrea, you want to take off your...
Sorry, sure. As we are in one just same planet, you are all neighbors. So our work is in a rainforest of South America. So I will focus on that in the two main biomes in Brazil. The first one is the Atlantic forest that goes through along the whole coast of Brazil. And it was like 371 million acres before the European arrives. Today, we are just like 8.5% of those areas. Those small remainings, because 70% of all Brazilian human population lives there. So the huge centers of Rio, São Paulo, they're all there. And the other biome is a very known Amazon biome. So, which is, as we say, the air conditioner of our world. So everything that happens in our rainforests affects all of us because we are all neighbors. Doesn't matter if it's like 1,000 miles of distance. So every threat on our rainforest, as deforestation, fires, illegal mining, logging, everything, every year counts less for us, either for Montanans or for Brazilians or for Peruvians, doesn't matter. We are in the same country, in the same, like this big house we call Earth. So our big goal and commitment is to protect those areas. So as Whitney said, we are together with local NGOs and also with the government to try to secure the small areas that are still pristine, that we still can do something and preserve very specific species of trees, of birds and frogs, and very, very endemic. They just occurs, especially in the Atlantic forest there. So protected areas, land titling for indigenous people in the Amazon, which are under a lot of threats because they're losing their house, the forest. So these things really helps because a fire that happening in the Amazon will affect a mountain because every year we are seeing all the climate change. We are seeing those. Like it's not a problem of the past. We are living this now.
Yeah. And they're the lungs of our planet, they say, basically. So, what happens in one area doesn't stay in one area any longer. So it's important to everybody that we get on this train and start to, save what we can, because we're at a tipping point right now. And so it's really important that we all dig in and do our best to save what we can.
Well, I think that message came out very loud and clear in the recent UN General Assembly, where I understand Rainforest Trust participated together with some of your NGO and colleagues on this issue. Can you tell us a little bit about the outcome of that and what we might see now going ahead?
Absolutely. We coordinated with 9 other organizations, NGOs, and we made a commitment. Rainforest Trust in particular made a commitment of $500 million. Dollars that we will be raising within and spending to protect our planet and these fragile ecosystems in the next 10 years. The combined commitment of this organization is called Protect Our Planet Challenge. It was announced at the UN General Assembly, and it's $5 billion total for the entire group. And so we're trying to play a larger collaborative effort. So that we can, make more of a difference, because, it's a short time span that we have now to stop this ball from rolling even further. And so that was really interesting. We also made a huge commitment with Colombia that we're going to be doing more in Colombia. And then Andrea has just recently returned or has been on I'll let you take over and tell you about the latest that she has.
Yeah, we Rainforest just signed it during the UN, also the UN Assembly, a commitment for $10 million with Colombia for new protected areas, and also with the other countries in the Andes, through the Andes, and during 10 years. So we are really committed with the governments to protect those fragile ecosystems because they are really disappearing. So we went last week to the Bioforum in Belém, Brazil, also to set up several organizations for the COP26 that will happen next week. So we are also going there.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, that's a very ambitious agenda. And I think when you say it's a collaborative effort, that's really the operative thing here, and that we are all living on the same planet, subject to the same pressures that you all are trying so hard to improve. So thank you very much for your work and for joining us today on What, So What, Now What. I'd like to thank our very generous donors who make this program possible. That's the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation, Allegiance, and Stockman Bank. Once again, Whitney, Andrea, and the Rainforest Trust, thank you so much for joining us today. Be well, and thank you, viewers, for coming. Look for another episode soon. Thank you, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for having us. Take care now.